Hello everyone, this is Fine from Tech Gaming Villa. I hope you all are well. Today I'm going to talk about the two different technology TV. The Sony X95K, which is mini LED but 4K TV. And on the other hand, right side, Samsung QN900B, which is a 8K TV. Both are mini LED panel TV. You will judge which TV looks better. Both are default settings. After factory reset and confirmation that the firmware update was about the same as what the TVs will update to when buyers set them up at home, the custom picture preset mode, and while I did cycle the peak brightness setting through all its available options, off, low, medium and high, I took the results from the medium settings as a baseline for the TV's performance. The next two sections fairly deep into test results and technical design principles. After some pretty light adjustments to the 2-point white balance, here's what I got. The peak brightness in HDR hovered just under the 1500 nit mark on X95K. And like most TVs, the brightness rose as it moved from a small 2% window up to a 10% window size, then started getting dimmer as the white window got larger. If you are new in my channel, then please subscribe and press the bell icon for future notifications and upcoming videos. I have another channel named Awesome Tech Gaming Pro, where I upload similar kind of tech videos like TV comparison, sound system, home theater, graphics cards. You can check and subscribe. Peak luminance stability test, it hung out right at 1400 nits for about 30 seconds, solid without significantly dimming, at which point I moved on. Without any adjustment to the white balance, the grayscale errors were already ridiculously low and they dropped to below perceivable error with only minor tweaks to the blue and red channels. The checkered color, I saw similar accuracy with HDR colors, also peaking at about 1400 nits on X95K, which is impressive. BCP3 color gamut coverage was about 95%. The TV's BT2020 coverage was pretty good at 72% coverage, but to be honest, I was expecting a teeny bit better. I'm looking forward to seeing how Samsung's new QLED, LG's Qnet and TCL's old mini LED Qled and vedio sets rank in comparison. Peak specular highlights on this TV were fan-freaking tactic outside of the test pattern. I think the TV was expecting 1500 nits pretty handily. That's Sony's processing coming into play. You clearly see the Sony's processing is marvelous. In my experience, Sony's chip doesn't gain peak brightness readings when it recognizes a test pattern the way some other TVs do. So when it came time to simply watch TV, I was very dazzled by HDR highlights of Sony X95K. The average picture level on the X95K is excellent. It has a very high brightness image that frankly I think punches well above most of the other LCD TVs, save some of Hisen's just straight up retina searing options like the UHG from 2021. Generally speaking, I have found that Sony TVs tend to achieve impressive performance by using fewer backlight dimming zones than some other TV brands like Samsung, TCL or Hisense that use as many local dimming zones as they possibly can. I have found that there is some credence to Sony's stance that it isn't how many zones you use, it's how you use them. However, I've seen some cases where a high density of dimming zones has resulted in very impressive black levels, very well mitigated halos, light surrounding bright objects on dark backgrounds, and minimum of backlight blooming. This had me wondering if maybe Sony should try doing the same. Sometimes Sony's approach has played to my personal preferences. Upward to 2022, in which mini LED backlighting comes with many more backlights for Sony to control. The sticks seem even higher. Well, here's my takeaway. While I still don't understand how Sony does it from a technical standpoint, I do think made the right trade-offs, resulting in Goldilocks mini LED backlit TV. The blooming on the X95K TV is minimal. On stress tested, the X95K with bright white captions down in the black letterbox bar area, a test which some might consider a little unfair, but I can't be the only one who watches at night with the captions. And I found the X95K did exhibit some blooming, but it was very minimal and I wasn't bothered by it. To be clear, the blooming was more significant than what would be seen on, say, Samsung QN900B On the other hand, the X95K's average picture level and peak HDR highlights were both brighter than a Samsung QN900B. So could the X95K have better overall performance with more dimming zones? It's possible, but I doubt it. At some point, you run into the law of diminishing returns. Adding zones may add more precise backlight control, but no amount of backlight control can correct the fact that there will always be some level of blooming on an LCD-based TV. In the end, I think which is better, a TV with a brighter average picture level and HDR highlights versus a TV with almost no blooming but slightly dimmer picture will come down to personal preference. Personally, I find myself tending to prefer the brighter option with just slightly more blooming. However, I recognize that what some folks want is an LCD TV that gets as close to OLED performance as possible in the blacks while being notably brighter than an OLED. I mean, let's be honest, that kind of TV is what Samsung has been chasing for the past few years, and it is because we asked for it. At any rate, no matter your preferences, I think if you stand back and stop literally picking at needs, there's no denying that the X95K is an extremely impressive TV. Look at the picture quality. Since I had the rare pleasure to have the X95K sitting in close proximity to the Sony A95K Qled, I couldn't help comparing them in real time. Totally unfair, but unavoidable all the same, despite the use of two completely different technologies in which the Qled has distinct advantages. I still found myself incredibly impressed with the X95K. Somehow the X95K has similar color saturation and similar color accuracy, very impressive black levels and shadow detail, great depth, and exceptionally dazzling HDR highlights in many ways. Expected the Qled TV to trounce the X95K, but it didn't. X95K offered tremendous depth, and the realism of the images came off as superior to what I have seen on most of the mini LED backlit TVs. Despite what could be considered as a rather modest peak brightness measurement by today's standards, where some TVs are shooting for 2500 nits and beyond, I never felt like the X95K delivered anything other than a wholly satisfying image with tons of HDR punch. Also, the details in the bright highlights and shadow areas were so well executed. I felt like I could see more of what was captured by the content creators. Often it seems dazzling and detail don't coexist in a TV, but I found that the X95K is able to pull off both attributes simultaneously and quite well. Overall, I think X95K offers fantastic picture quality. The race for the best mini LED backlit TV is definitely on, and it is going to be super tight and cheap on 2024. On the other hand, if you see the Samsung QN900B, as you will no doubt remember, Samsung's Neo QLED moniker refers to the company's mini LED TV product line, which delivers near OLED contrast levels thanks to the inclusion of diodes that are 1/40th the thickness of regular LEDs. What that means is Samsung can cram thousands of smaller diodes into a panel rather than hundreds, resulting in a huge uptick in dimming zones and improved black levels. The last year's QN900A, I noted that while its contrast levels were far greater than anything I've seen before on an LCD TV, instances of light bleed were still evident. Having since spent a great deal of time with last year's QN900A, we can state unequivocally that this year's revision sees the QN900B sees a dramatic drop in light blooming around object against darker sections of the display. This can largely be attributed to the QN900B's updated Neo Quantum processor 8K chip and its new shape adaptive light technology, which uses artificial intelligence to ensure its backlighting matches the shape of on-screen objects more accurately. To see how well the new feature works, must highlight this instance of light bleed was completely absent from the scene when viewed on the QN900B. In terms of overall picture quality, I noticed improvements in both depth and contrast, with images in the foreground appearing punchier than before. Samsung's real depth enhancer technology can be thanked for this, with its jump from 12-bit to 14-bit contrast mapping 4 times as many levels of monochromatic color gradation. The QN900B's HDR prowess is excellent. It's a film that offers vibrant colors, inky blacks, and scorching highlights and the new Neo QLED flagship handled itself magnificently in each of these areas. Colors appeared rich and accurate with excellent contrast and highlights that were appropriately bright but also reined in when it came to light bloom. You can see the picture quality of QN900B's brightness capabilities and its naturalistic approach to bloom. While the QN900B offers several motion smoothing and noise reduction features, which tend to produce images that appear unnatural, these can thankfully be tailored to viewers' preference in the TV's expert setting. Alternatively, viewers can use the QN900B's filmmaker mode for the most authentic viewing experience of professionally produced video content. You should also know that this viewing mode doesn't shy away from film grade, which tends to be finer and more precise when viewed on an 8K panel. As with any 8K TV, and given the limited amount of native 8K content on offer, upscaling will be of particular importance to users considering Samsung's QN900B Neo QLED TV. Thankfully, Samsung's multi-intelligence AI upscaling still does a great job of making older content look as clean as its source will allow. Once again, the low resolution content look quite clean despite the 480p source, and because we hate ourselves, we also, just like last year's QN900A, Samsung provides gamers with 4 HDMI 2.1 ports on QN900B, giving them the ability to connect multiple consoles without sacrificing support for next-gen gaming features. It has 4K 120 FPS and 8K 60 FPS LLM VRR. As an added cherry on top, PC gamers also have the option of 144 Hz. Once again, gamers will be happy to know that Samsung's latest Neo QLED flagship offers a comprehensive game mode which allows players to view frame rates, HDR status, resolutions, and more. The mode also offers a handy dynamic black equalizer that allows players to adjust the darkness of shadows, which could provide a competitive advantage. So in this 2 TV, which TV you like most? The X95K, which is a 4K mini LED TV, or Samsung QN900B 8K mini LED TV? Please write in the comments below. That's it from now.